And joining us now is John Sandweg, former acting ICE Director during the Obama administration and former acting General Counsel at the Department of Homeland Security. Great to have you here, John. Thank you so much. President Trump was just asked about sanctuary cities, another portion of the talk that we're paying attention to. Let's listen to what he said.
We're going to end sanctuary cities for some of these jurisdictions that aren't cooperating with law enforcement. They're guarding criminals. They're taking the rights away from the citizens of this state and their city. And we're going to be ending sanctuary cities if we find it necessary to do in certain major areas. And we may just end the entire thing altogether.
I mean, John, obviously this would be absolutely huge. What's your response to that?
Sorry, Laura, we're on mute. The sanctuary cities have been a problem for going to burn the saddle of the Trump administration. In the initial executive orders he issued, there was some language about having the Attorney General and the Secretary of DHS looking into sanctuary cities. But clearly, of late, the president has been kind of acting more forcefully with his executive orders. What I would expect here would be something that probably is tied to the leverage he has against states and localities, and that, of course, is federal funding. And what I would expect is something that explicitly says if you're a sanctuary city, then we're going to restrict access to those funds in a real draconian and aggressive way. As you know, states and cities rely very extensively on federal funding. And I think that's the leverage he has. And just given everything he's done of late, I would expect that he's going to try to pull against these, to try to stop these localities from, maintaining these laws and these policies.
Also, Mahmoud Khalil has not been accused or convicted of any crimes, and I want to talk about that because it's here in New York. A judge has said his case should be held in New Jersey, but there hasn't been a timeline set for a hearing. What is your take on this part of the story? Because it's a big uproar here in New York.
So, Laura, there are two pieces of this case going forward. One that's more closely in the public eye, and that's the habeas case that was sent from the Southern District of New York over to New Jersey. But separately, there are ongoing immigration court proceedings, and those are probably at this stage more important than the federal court case. So in the immigration court, I don't know for certain, but I strongly suspect that his lawyers have moved for a bond hearing. Khalil is technically under immigration law eligible for bail. That's going to be left up to the discretion of the immigration judge. I would expect a very intense fight in the immigration court over bail. If he loses that, then I would anticipate the court proceedings are going to shift back over to the federal court. But right now, as we speak, the immigration court dockets are not public. It's a little harder for the media to track those proceedings. That is where the next big step in this case is. Is he going to get bail? Is that immigration judge going to let him out on bail as the deportation case goes forward?
And also, we've been talking with border czar Tom Homan. I spoke to him yesterday, and also this morning he was weighing in on whether the IRS will use data to track undocumented immigrants, a move that he says could protect Americans' identities. Let's take a listen to this.
Do you expect IRS to begin sharing data on potential undocumented migrants in this country?
Well, I'll tell you this, illegal aliens use American Social Security numbers. Together with identity theft, we're looking to protect Social Security. We're looking out to protect United States citizens' identity and their benefits from Social Security. I've done this for a long time. Illegal aliens many times use Social Security numbers, U.S. citizens. It causes a lot of problems.
I don't know, John. Do you think he has a point? I mean, should the IRS be sharing data?
Well, Laura, there are two elements of this. One is these kind of criminal investigations for identity theft or Social Security fraud. There's no restriction on information sharing that inhibits federal law enforcement from doing that. I think what ICE is really interested in here is getting more accurate addresses and personal locating information for immigrants. As you know, the administration is ICE is out targeting people. They identify potential targets, people who are undocumented, people who might have had a brush with the law. Then what they start doing is looking to build an address. They are restricted basically to using publicly available databases or information that is shared with them by states, maybe driver's license data. But of course, that IRS data could be the holy grail in terms of confirming an accurate address. My understanding, but they're hard to get because there are restrictions going back to the Nixon era that really restrict civil taxpayer information even being shared for criminal investigations. My understanding is I think what ICE is going to be doing is saying, hey, can you confirm these addresses on these targets? And I think the idea, what ICE is hoping is that that'll make it more likely when they go to that house that instead of going and finding out the person moved 6 months ago,
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.